There you go. That's cartoons of our generation.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me on the Comedy and Kitsap podcast. And we're talking about the year 2022. Do you guys remember that year?
I do.
Barely.
Yes.
First off, I guess I'll introduce anybody who doesn't know who you guys already are. This is Brock Terrano.
What up?
You can follow him on Funny Man Brock on social medias. And this is Thomas Friday.
Hey.
You can follow him on Thomas Friday Comedy and Thomas Friday Porn. He has the OnlyFans if you want to check it out. And this is Alison Rose.
Hi.
You can follow her at Alison Crow.
No, it's Alison Rose.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Alison Rose on the social medias. And she also owns Remedy Speakeasy, which
Yay.
is one of the spots where we do a lot of comedy. So they're going to be a big part of our podcast today. I thought we should start off by talking about New Year's Eve 2021. Thomas Friday and I were celebrating the last day of 2021 at the Dave Chappelle concert in Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, Washington. Do you remember that show, Tommy?
Yeah, we went to the Super Spreader.
It was a super spreader for sure.
Yeah.
Not only was it a Omicron super spreader, but the whole time Dave Chappelle was joking about it.
And dancing.
Every
time he said it, he was like, do,
Yeah.
do, do, do.
Every time he said Omicron, the DJ played a song and he just started doing like
Popping,
a robot
locking.
dance. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Did he smoke on stage the whole time?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we're getting COVID for
Yeah.
sure. Because he's joking about it. Because I don't know about you guys, but I noticed that anybody that talks shit about COVID got COVID. So I was like, oh, we're all getting COVID for laughing at that joke.
That one was brutal. That put me down for a bit.
Yeah, we were down for a couple weeks. I came home and gave it to my whole family.
It was worth it, though.
Yeah. We're all stronger now.
Yeah, luckily.
We were vaccinated.
I am alone, so I gave it to no one.
So I'm the super spreader, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the beginning of the year was cool because we started off with COVID in 2022. But I will say when we were watching Dave Chappelle after the show and then the New Year's ball drop joke that he did, after the show, which was really cool, is he had his whole family there. And
that's cool.
they all celebrated with him on the stage. And all these Dave Chappelle color balloons dropped. And it was really cool to see him celebrate on the stage with his family. And I remember just taking it all in and what a professional and what someone who's been doing comedy for that long can achieve. Not that I feel like I can ever achieve that, but it definitely lit a fire under me for sure. Mm-hmm. And it inspired me to pursue comedy with a greater passion to do more of it as much as I could. Do you remember that? His family coming out and cool. Everyone else is just dipping. I'm like, why are people leaving? This is amazing to see, to witness. Mm-hmm. And then we started out the year with COVID. And the first show that we did of the year was at Dog Days Brewery. It was a locals only comedy showcase, volume 12, on January 14th. That was about when I started feeling better.
All right. Now, relationships. You guys in a relationship? You? I'm fat too. What's up? Yeah, we're married. Look at my belly. What a weird fucking thing. You meet somebody and they're just like, check out my body.
Where's the baby?
Yeah, I got it. I figured it out. It's kind of unfair. You can meet people and just say, look at my belly, and I can't just whip my dick out first second.
I wish I had the flyer for that show, but a lot of local comedians were on that show.
At what point, because it's all a blur to me, at what point in COVID were we at? Like, were we still at half capacity for venues?
You had to wear masks.
Okay.
I think.
You had to show your Vax card to get in.
Everywhere.
Okay.
And then, because I think that all cleared up around March, I think.
Yeah, it sounds about right. March, April.
But we were in an Omicron spike when we went to the show.
Yeah.
Because it was in the middle of winter.
I remember I'm sitting in the line because you had to wait forever, and just hear someone go, and you're like, well, there we go.
Yep.
SWAT comes in.
I had sunglasses on. I was double masked because when I was standing in the line, it was so cold that you can see everybody's breath.
Yeah.
And we were all just in each other's cloud breath. And you can see it. So I was like, yeah, we're getting COVID for sure. But then Tyler Smith was at the show, and I was like, did you get COVID too? He's like, no. I was like, fuck you. But
Everyone I knew that went there got it.
yeah, exactly.
And we were all brutally sick.
He was the only one that said no.
Hmm.
But yeah, I guess we were lucky that we got the Omicron variant. But
Yes. Well, that's the only way I would have gone out because I heard it wasn't that bad.
But yeah, so we did the locals only show, which is a lot of fun. Those are always fun with a bunch of local comics. And then after that, there was a funny true story night at Dog Days on January 28th.
And true story, just kidding.
That was designed to that show was kind of designed to do something different, but also bring out some people that thought about doing stand-up comedy but were too nervous to.
Right.
And I came up with the idea that it would be fun if people looked at, I could tell a funny story, so I'll go up and do that.
Oh, because you don't have to like structure a joke. You're just
Yeah.
going up there
Yeah.
and getting over that. Because a lot of people say the worst part is when you first go on stage. And so if you're just going up there to tell a story, you don't have to worry about getting laughs.
Yeah. So rolling. Oh, that's right. Okay, everybody give it up for Noah.
Hello, thank you, yes. So this is a story about the last sexual experience I almost had.
Which reminds me of the cutest thing ever that I've seen in 2022 was when Max Weissong did open mic comedy at Dog Days for the first time.
I
You were
remember
there.
Oh,
You were there.
Yeah. Yeah.
His little hands were all shaky.
He was shaking so
but
bad.
He was really funny.
But he was
Well, then-
crushing.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. Is like I didn't realize it was his first time because he did so well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But I didn't realize at first either it was his first time because he was doing so well. But with how much he was shaking, I was like, oh, this must be his first time.
Yeah.
But he's killing it right now.
Yeah.
Which was just hilarious to see someone that nervous crushing.
The next name on the list, I've never seen this name before. I don't even know if they're here. Hopefully they are here. All right, keep it going for the comedian I've never seen before, Max Weissong.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Yeah, good. Give it up for a host one more time. Yeah. Doesn't he kind of look like a caveman if he did fentanyl? I've actually had a really bad week. I was sexually harassed at the workplace. Yeah, I know, right? My boss made a move, but the weird part is I work for my dad. It's been weird at home. My girlfriend and I got in a huge fight today. We wanted to get coffee before work, but she told me we can't go to Starbucks anymore because she doesn't want to support a corporation. So I took her to one of those bikini barista places, and she lost her fucking mind. Apparently, she doesn't support female entrepreneurs. Those bikini barista places are weird, right? Like, it's the only place where you can get an Americano by a girl with a butt plug in. Like, I like coffee, but I don't want HPV. I think more businesses should adopt the bikini model, you know, like pot shops. I actually have a name for one. I'd call it CB Double Ds. Yeah. My girlfriend thinks it's a bad idea, though. She thinks women wouldn't shop there, and she's probably right. So that's why next door I want to open up dongs and dabs. Same idea, just big, mean-looking dicks and dabs, I guess.
Yeah.
I always like, whenever I see someone new in the scene, it's always like different because I'm always like, I don't know if I like you yet.
Yeah.
But he just went up there and started crushing. I was like, I like you.
Yeah.
And he was doing one-liners, which are my favorite types of jokes.
Hmm.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, it helps to be funny for sure.
I get really jealous of first timers that go up and crush.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I so didn't. I had prepared. I had like researched how to
Yeah.
write jokes, and I had written stuff that I thought was really funny, and I'd practiced, and I was so not funny. And so it's shocking. Like the lady that went up last Friday at Dog Days for her first time, she was really funny.
Yeah.
And I was jealous.
So,
Yeah.
did I tell you guys the first time I met Jordan Hansen?
No.
Oh my God! So it was at the Hi-Fi, and it was me and Tommy Johnson. We were doing, I think it was a competition, and Jordan ended up winning the entire
So
thing.
everybody give a warm welcome to your next comedian, Jordan Hansen, everybody.
It's so bright. I don't even know if there's anyone here. Hello, my name is Jordan. I've recently been having a lot of trouble with social situations, and I didn't think much of it. And then I realized that I've been getting vaccinated my whole life. It's really starting to scare me. Been having a really hard time as of late. My little brother recently just he passed away. Because you know that thing where you like go to the movies and the main character like goes underwater, and then you try and hold your breath to see how long, like if you would make it. I took him to see Aquaman, and it didn't work out so well.
And so we go up to him. I was like, "Hey, man, like, where else have you performed?" And he just goes, "Oh no, this was my second time on stage." And both at the same time, we're like, "Fuck you."
Well, in his defense, he does have theater background. So
Yeah, that's true.
being on stage in that scenario is also nerve-wracking, I think, and
Yeah.
can help you for stand-up comedy. But he's also just naturally funny as well.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, January is usually the slow time of the year because people have their stupid New Year's resolutions to drink less and spend less. So it takes a few weeks to get out of that. So we just did a couple events in January. But in February, we started picking it back up. We did a roast battle comedy show at Dog Days Brewery on February 18th. I'm pretty sure that was the one that Drew Lopez took down.
Yes.
And was
Okay.
deemed the roast battle champion of Dog Days Brewery.
Yeah, so everyone's going to take turns roasting her, but it's going to be shot for shot. So 2 minutes back and forth. Okay. So one person goes, the other person goes. All right, so your first roast battle is going to be Brock Terrano versus Drew Lopez.
All right.
Woo, yeah.
Hey, buddy.
You get 2 minutes starting now. Go.
Cool. So, Drew, I know you don't plan on having kids anytime soon. It's really sad, though, because, like, you giving birth would be the only time you had a successful delivery.
Can I go now? Brock, you being a libertarian is the only thing that makes you disabled.
It's okay. You make me feel genetically superior. But no, Drew Lopez looks like the type to still stuff her bra after high school.
It's a really bad job. If you've seen Brock stand up before, you'll know that he is Italian. His childhood nickname was Little Italy.
It's funny because it's true.
That's so Raven your ass. There you go.
Jesus. Drew Lopez looks like the physical embodiment of gender fluid.
Brock's preferred pronoun is midget, but that's just because he's a bad person. You're the Uncle Tom of little people.
That was back when I was still scared of roasts.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Which is weird because you had a birthday roast, like,
yeah.
right before COVID.
I'm not scared of being roasted.
Oh,
I'm scared of
that's
doing
right,
the
that's right.
roasting. Until the one in March or April, we'll get to that one.
Yeah.
Yep. She made a belt for
Yeah, that's right.
championships.
Drew did, yeah.
It's a wrestling belt, and now that's one we pass around for the
Yeah, too
winner.
bad she's not here to talk about it.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun. And then on February 25th, Justin Ruppel came to town.
Wrong number. You know what I mean? Like it's a short. I will close on this. I just absolutely love doing stand-up comedy, and I wish this last 2 years that we didn't get to do it with you, it was really tough for us because we can't do this without you. If you go home tonight and you tell everybody that you came out and you saw a good show where the comics literally got to come up on stage and live out the little dreams they had as kids, then we continue to get to do this, and that's all I can ask. So I'm very thankful that you guys gave that to us tonight. So I'm very appreciative. Thank you so much for that.
That was a fun show.
Yeah, that was really cool to see Justin Ruppel do stand-up comedy and then do impersonations. He was really good at that. And then he, later on in the year, went on to America's Got Talent and crushed it. So that was really cool to see.
Because I like watching that show. And I had recognized the voice, and I could not figure it out. I was like, man, where have I heard this guy before?
Yeah.
But then I heard the about his 2 wives or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
that's right. Now I remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was a cool show. That was the first time I went on the road with an actual headliner, too.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
Timmy.
You got a joke out of that.
I did.
And, so that was a lot of fun to have him. And he's kind of famous now. And then we did our first dope show of the year on February 26th. That was a lot of fun.
Are you guys ready for another comedian? Let's make more noise than that. There we go. Next comic I'm bringing to the stage, he is a dear friend of mine, and he is the host of the very funny podcast, Meet in the Middle. Please make some noise for the very funny Andy Miller.
Ooh la la. Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to be out tonight. It's so nice to be out. Oh, you guys been productive lately? Feeling productive lately? I've been real productive lately. I've been doing a lot of work around my apartment lately. Recently, I went to Home Depot, right? Went to Home Depot so that I could switch the door knob on my bedroom door with a door handle. I like to eat a lot of breakfast in bed. And now when I'm going into my room with food, I can open it with my butt. I can open it with my butt, and now I don't have to be naked to do that. That's a fun visual, isn't that?
Was that the first dope show at the Roxy ever?
No.
Oh, okay.
We did one a year before.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, those dope shows are pretty fun. And Brock got wasted, and
every time, man.
It's just so funny because he's so much smaller than everybody else, so it's easy to forget that it takes a lot less for him to get fucked up on stuff. It's like you can't just drink with him like a normal person. You gotta realize you're drinking with an 8-year-old.
I don't know about that.
Oh, really? You built the tolerance?
He can handle his shit.
I can handle my drinks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You remember that one time you were trying to make out with me when you were drunk?
I do.
Wasn't drunk?
I wasn't drunk yet.
I remember it. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then in March, Susan Rice came to the Roxy Theater.
I remember that.
Yeah, she's a classic OG
she's great.
gangsta comedian. She was really funny. She crushed it, of course.
We're gonna get through this. We're just gonna be okay. You just go back to 4 squares of toilet paper. You know how to do it. You survived 2 years. You got this shit. You don't have to be worried about it. We just, it's a little bit more top ramen, and everything's gonna be okay. Anyway, that's the way I feel about it. Every time I start to bitch, and God knows I bitch. In fact, I'm gonna miss the mask because I can bitch under my mask. And I can call people a bitch under my mask and get away with it. Stupid bitch. Oh no, I didn't say that, honey. I said I have an itch.
wasn't the biggest crowd, but she filled the room up with laughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And for a theater.
Yeah. Oh, she's great.
Yeah.
I think I've only worked with her like twice. But no, she's fantastic.
Yeah, she's I love people like her because she has so much experience and so much beautiful insight in comedy, you know, and she's honest, and I love that. So yeah, she's been killing it this year too.
Yeah,
so,
she has. No, I love working with OG comics like that because they always have some wisdom to impart, which is always helpful too.
Yeah.
Even just watching them, like you get a different level of, like you observe a different level of confidence, and especially watching them multiple times, like you see them do their same sets multiple times, but how they do crowd work, and it's just I learned so much by doing that.
Yeah, you can definitely learn a lot.
I saw her in October. Probably not last year, but one October, and she had this Halloween joke that it's amazing.
Yeah. No, she's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then we did another. In March, we also did our first show at the Drift on March 31st.
I'm so pissed I missed that.
Yeah, Thomas was there.
Yep. Drew, Morgan.
Yeah. And that was a lot of fun because you never know what to expect with the Drift, right? But normally when you do comedy, people don't play pool.
Yeah.
When you do comedy, but the first thing I said when I got there was like, "Okay, we're here for comedy, but trust me, I know that you do not tell people at the Drift to not play pool."
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get killed or shanked. Yeah, exactly.
It's the only place in town where people just bring their own pool sticks.
Yeah.
Hello, the Driftin'! Woohoo! Yeah, are you guys ready for live comedy tonight? Yeah, let's get excited about comedy, The Drift. I am your host. My name is Joseph Rogers. A couple things about comedy that I want to share with you is that typically we do not heckle any of the comedians. We do not want to interrupt them. We want to laugh with them. So please don't play anything on the jukebox while the comedians are up here. Also, if you can, please keep your table talk to a minimum. We don't want to be too loud and interrupt the comedians that are here to make you laugh and have a good time. So we appreciate that. One of the comedians asked me, they said, "Are they going to stop playing pool there when we do comedy?" I said, "Motherfucker, they've been playing pool at the Drift longer than comedy's even existed." I am not going to ask them to stop playing pool at the Drift. That's one way to get your ass kicked out, that's for sure. I was also wondering about the lighting here. I was going to bring my own stage lighting, and then I realized that people at the Drift don't give a fuck about stage lighting. Because they also probably don't give much of a fuck about comedy. So, why would I bring the lights? This is great. I'm trying to figure out where to stand for you guys where I look the best. Yeah. Maybe if I see how far this wireless mic can go. Are you guys excited about comedy tonight? Oh, you didn't know? Oh, the Drift isn't promoting it? You guys are like, "Oh, they're doing comedy, we're getting the fuck out of here." That's great. Oh, is that what it is? You have a real job? Is that what it is? Yeah. I haven't had a job in 6 years. No, why are you flexing on me is what I'm saying. Yeah, you're flexing on me like I got a full-time job. Yeah. Oh, you want a microphone? All right. Okay. Oh, no, I clean this. It is in my ass, isn't it? Yeah, it's definitely in my ass. Because I have a clean ass. You didn't know? I'm a millennial. You're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me you think I got a dirty ass and my microphone's not clean? 100%? Oh, beards are not dirty. I clean mine. I sanitize my beard every morning. Every morning. Just in the morning? Yeah, just in the morning. Once a day isn't enough? Damn, Bremerton girls, the Drift are picky, bro. This is... Oh, what are you, Port Orchard now? Gorst. Oh, is it? You look like you have a basement in Gorst. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I don't live in Bremerton. I live in Manette, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Well, I think they have like a pool league and everything there. If I remember right, because doesn't Phil do that?
Well, they got the most tables, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Bremerton.
And that was a lot of fun. I think we were well received, though. You know, we got their attention, and we told enough jokes that they liked that they were digging it. We had the wireless mic set up, so we were going around, and I was riffing with some crowd.
That's
it was a lot of fun.
Somewhere you got to get Morgan to go because they'll love her jokes there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they got a dark sense of humor there for sure. I just can't actually book a professional headliner there because if they have to go to the bathroom, I'll be like, let's go to the South Pacific.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the drift bathroom is not the best.
I like it.
You dirty son of a bitch. And then, let's see, in April, we did the Epic Roast Battle featuring 8 local open mic comedians at the historic Roxy Theater on April 9th.
That was not my favorite roast.
That was
I
a lot.
shit the bed that night.
Yeah.
That was in April?
Yeah.
That was in April. That was Allison's post-traumatic disorder after that. So tell us about your PTSD that you got from that show.
So that was a rough. It was a rough one. But there were a lot of things at play. My emotions was one of them, and I took everything a little bit harder than I needed to. But I also was not pleased with like level of writing, because I thought a lot of our jokes were lazy, mine included. So I wasn't, as a whole, I wasn't happy with all of us. But on a personal level, I was also taking everything really, really personally.
Yeah.
Alison tells a story about the time she had a threesome with her dishwasher and line cook. But when you ask them about it, they tell the story about how they both discovered they were gay.
Alison is a proud owner of her own bar, Remedy. I'm happy to see her following her dreams of never having to make an excuse for why she's at a bar every day.
Alison opened a 20s themed bar because it reminds her of the good old days when she was a background character in a Charlie Chaplin film. But her scene was cut because her voice was too annoying for a silent film.
Alison Rose looks like a middle-aged Wednesday Addams if she let herself go.
So Alison is Jewish, and that's why she refers to her genitals as the promised land. Just like the one the Jews found in the wilderness, it's dry, barren, and impossible to landscape.
Alison is so clumsy, she has famously broken both her ankles within the last year. And the next thing to go is her pussy in some mysterious dishwasher incident.
Alison is so Jewish that she calculated how much she spent on alcohol every year and decided to open her own bar just to save $20.
Alison, don't ever stop drawing on your eyebrows. It's the only time you still write anything funny.
Alison won't say her jokes if her dad is in the audience, and I wish he was in the crowd more often.
If Alison slept with a married man, his wife would forgive him.
You know, it's a good roast battle when one of the people want to stop drinking and lose weight.
After that roast, I quit drinking for a month and I lost 10 pounds.
You know, I got this theory I just came up with.
Yeah.
So who was hosting that show? Roger.
Yeah.
You know how like people get this weird thing where if you're on a date with someone and you're on a bridge with them, the fear of falling can also be mistaken for being in love.
That's when it started. That's a good theory.
Yeah.
I like it.
That is adorable.
A damsel in distress.
I like that.
Roger to the rescue.
Oh, I'm blushing.
So, you know, it was, I will agree, my writing and maybe a couple of people's writing were a little lazy. I did write everything the day of the show. So there's no denying it that my writing was extremely lazy.
A lot of us did.
Yeah, exactly, because we are who we are.
Writing mine in the green room.
Yeah.
I prepared.
Brock's like, I don't write till I show up because I don't even know if I'm going to show up.
Pretty much.
But we learned a lot about ourselves that day.
We learned a lot, Joe. I think you and I got closer after that.
Yeah.
Because we were able to have a really good
We were able to talk to each other.
Yeah.
You know, which is important.
Yeah. The other thing we learned about that from that one was the improv round we need more. We need to learn how to do improv before we throw an improv round in or have a little more structure to it.
Like there was structure, but there wasn't much structure, and there wasn't any practice. That was I think our first time trying that. So yeah, it was kind of a train wreck at the end there.
A lot of lessons learned that roast.
Yeah, exactly.
But the host was very cute.
He had a nice booty. And then on 4/20, we did the dope show at the historic Roxy Theater.
I invented a new sex position for lesbians. You are running away. See you. So do I. Two more lines. I invented a new sex position for lesbians. It's called the safety scissor. And it's just like a regular scissor, except for I watch to make sure it's safe. I just sit in the corner, wearing an orange vest and a hard hat. Holding a clipboard. And my dick. It's right behind the clipboard.
That was a fucking show right there.
Yeah.
A 420 dope show. About 270 people showed up to that bad boy.
Yep.
I guest hosted it. Tyler Smith also had 3 other dope shows going on at the same time that day.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
He was doing the one at the historic historic Everett Theater. I was doing the Roxy Theater. Josh Firestein did Tacoma Comedy Club, and Courtney Bird did Spokane Comedy Club.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, 4 dope shows in
Yeah.
one day on 420,
Yeah,
and they
no,
were
that
all
was
a
awesome.
huge success. And I felt very grateful to be a part of that, one of those 4 shows.
Yeah.
You know, and that was my first time guest hosting the dope show, I do believe. So
Yeah. Well, that was a big milestone for the dope show too.
yeah, for
Entirely.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. And Drew was on that show.
Mhm.
Drew crushed. Tell us how that made you feel, Drew.
All right, everybody, let's keep it going for your next comedian. She is the Dog Days Roast Battle Champion. Give a warm welcome to Drew Lopez!
I was gonna shake your hand, but fuck you. Shit's too hectic for that. We gotta go!
Moving on. But Rott was on that show too, and he also crushed.
That's right.
And he said he got so high he forgot that he was doing a second set. So That's how you know you're having a good time.
You have seen this comedian sober. Give it up for the very high Dennis Reed. Oh, there he is. He's fucking ripped. Look at him.
Sounds par for the course.
All right, and then May, we did open mic comedy night at Remedy Speakeasy with Josh Firestein and Casey McLean.
Yep.
It was a double feature on May 11th, and that was a lot of fun, getting a double feature out. And that was kind of shortly after we started the tip for roaster compliment.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say they enjoyed that part. It looked like.
Yeah, well, because they're really good at roasting people. So.
Okay, we're supposed to compliment the beautiful gal next to Phil now.
Oh, I did, yeah, a little bit.
Okay,
Well,
you did. You said she was
a
pretty.
little bit.
You look like a Bremerton 9.
It sounds like an insult.
That's a compliment.
You look like my wife's friend Janelle, who's a very nice lady. Phil looks like a relief pitcher on a kickball team.
You know, Josh does the Roastamania at TCC and whatnot, so they definitely have experience. And yeah, that was really fun. For those of you that don't know, what we do after the shows in 2022 is we've taken the tip jar around after the show and given people who leave a tip the option to get roasted or complimented. Yeah. Normally, 95% of the time they choose compliment or roast.
Yeah.
But every now and then you get a compliment, and then it ends up turning into a roast, unfortunately.
Yeah, because I feel like us comedians are way worse at complimenting than roasting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, what about this guy right here? He wants to be roasted as well, red shirt guy.
Yeah.
You make me feel genetically superior.
You look like you broke into the Capitol just to do pull-ups.
When I imagine that someone's like a farm-raised, corn-fed boy, that's what I think of when I look at you.
You're the one guy really upset that Jersey Shore 2.0 got canceled.
You look like why nobody respects YouTube rappers.
I forget where it was, maybe Dog Days, but one of you, I think it might have been you, gave a compliment to someone that was like, "You look young for your age."
Yeah.
And he was like, what's my age? And you guessed, and it was like way older than he actually
That was Casey's.
Okay.
Oh, that was Casey,
Yeah.
was it?
And that was just my memory.
But I've said that before, though, to somebody. Like, you look really good for your age. I said it to Paul Delaney. And then
Oh, that's fun. I remember that.
He's like, what does that mean? I was like, I don't know. You look good.
I didn't say which age.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't say, yeah.
Exactly. But I'm still, it's a great practice doing the tip for roaster compliment, to put us on the spot like that and have us provide roast jokes. So they don't always hit. They're not always winners, that's for sure. And it seems like the higher I am, the harder I have time roasting. So lessons will be learned.
But that's why we get Max Y Song to just come on and roast.
He's like a roast genius.
Yeah.
It's really irritating to watch.
It is. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it seems like every time we struggle, he comes up and brings us back.
Every time. I asked him how he doesn't. He said he just grew up with a mean mom.
That'll do it.
Yeah. All right, so then we have a live comedy show at Casey's Bar and Grill in Belfair on May 26th. So yeah, we started doing shows at Belfair.
Doggy.
And
boy,
Casey's Bar and Grill is almost like the Drift in a way.
Yeah, I can see that.
But the regulars there, they don't really take too kindly to out of towners, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Remember that time you were trying to do your set and this guy just like went right by you and got on the pinball machine?
Right behind me.
Right behind you.
Yeah.
Give it up for Brock Terrano. There you go. Yeah, give it up for him, everybody.
Thank you for that, Joe. Keep it going for Max, everybody. Or don't. That's cool.
They give it up.
But no, like Joe said, I actually did work with Steppenwolf for a few years, which sounds like a lot of fun on paper. Because when I landed the gig, I was like, oh yeah, sex, drugs, rock and roll, that's going to be my lifestyle now. Well, they're all in their 60s. Like this jackass. Are you winning? It's not listening.
But the thing about a bar like that is you can't really tell them don't play pool or don't play pinball.
Well, you stopped me from laying into the guy too.
Yeah.
So I was about to tear into him.
Yeah, I
and
know
you're like,
you were, but
probably not.
he looked like he had a sword on him, so
No.
I didn't want you to get shanked.
It's the only way I'm going to get famous, Joe.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, I just think it's one of those things where they that's like their spot.
Yeah.
And you're just a visitor.
Yeah.
So we don't want to shit on anybody. We don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable. If you don't, their way of saying that they didn't like your comedy was they just went and played pinball during your set. Yeah. So which I thought was fucking hilarious.
Belfair heckling.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, exactly.
I did not handle that well. Not gonna lie.
I thought you handled it pretty good, honestly. I think you could have laid into him, and I probably should have let you, but
I wasn't gonna go overboard. Probably.
No, but I just. Yeah.
It would have been just funny to just like turn around and just like.
Well,
ladies and
that's what
gentlemen.
I looked back. I was like, "Are you winning?" And he and he didn't acknowledge me. But the other thing we learned was he was like blackout drunk. So
okay,
it was probably good I didn't lay into him because we don't know how he would have responded.
Right.
Yeah. And he looked like he was teleported straight from the Civil War era.
Yeah.
So you don't want to fuck with those guys when they get blackout drunk.
Or just a normal person from Belfair.
And then June, we did another dope show at the Roxy Theater. That was a lot of fun.
Was that the one I was on? Or?
That was
Is
the
that
one
the
you
one
were
where
on.
he had me do 2 vapes at once?
No, I don't think so.
All right. You guys ready to see some stone comedians? Yeah! All right. Your fucking first stone comedian, everybody. He's a good friend of mine. He's local here to Bremerton. He's awkward sober. So give it up for the very stone Thomas Friday.
You guys are all cops, huh? I feel like that's. Jesus Christ. I feel like I'm gonna get arrested once I leave here. It's still, it's illegal still, right? People like doing this? This is the worst. I had to call my mom when I got outside.
Oh, that was later in the year.
That was that was the one with Rachel and Slater.
Yeah, and this is when Thomas was on. He doesn't smoke very much, and I remember giving him a couple of hits out back, and he was like, "That's good." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yes." And then lo and behold, he was ripped.
I don't smoke at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll only do it for the dope show, and I'm nervous about the one I got to do. So.
And I gave him a 1-to-1 ratio, CBD to THC. It only had 7% in each, and he still got ripped. So.
Yep.
That tells you a lot.
The entire time I was in the back alley walking back and forth like, don't throw up. Don't.
That's fucking hilarious.
That's how I get.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
And
that's
then you
one of my
crushed your
better
stone set. Yeah.
better sets.
Yeah.
Was that stone set.
That was hilarious when you were like, what do you guys want to talk about?
Biggest laugh of the night. It's calculated. I knew I was going to say that.
Yeah. Hey, that's part of being a good comedy person. And then we, June 24th, we did our 10-year Comedy in Kitsap party.
That was a great
for anniversary for 10 years of doing comedy locally. That was a lot of fun.
That was a great show.
Good show.
It was a great show. I was like, make sure to take a group photo with all the comics. Didn't do that. But one thing we did do that I thought was really funny was Jeff got a cake.
And we threw it at you.
Yeah, and it was my idea, so you guys weren't being mean.
Yeah.
But no one was really digging the cake. There was just a couple pieces taken, so and it was a really beautiful cake. But I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna practice doing a set. I'm gonna try to do a set. I'm gonna want you guys to throw cake at me during my set. Right?
Yeah.
And dude, you should have seen my oldest son and Lori both jumped up and sprinted to the cake. They were the first ones there, and they were just chucking
flashbacks
it.
at dodgeball in grade school.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, holy
And this one time, this guy was like, hey, what are you doing live streaming the comedy show? And I'm like, hey, do you want to eat tonight, motherfucker? And yeah, well, you're winding up for this one, aren't you? Oh, fuck. Holy shit! She's got an arm on her. Fucking, we're destroying this shit out here. Are you guys done yet? I'm trying to do my closer. Fall for it, man. Fall for it. You got me right between the eyes. Good job, man. Motherfucker. All right, last call for anybody who wants to throw cake while I try to do my closer. All right, so what? I just want to say, while you guys finish throwing the cake at me, you guys have been great for the last 10 years. All of you that supported me and supported live comedy, please follow us on Comedy in Kitsap on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And also, we're all going to be hanging out at Remedy Speakeasy tonight. After the show, we're going to go down there and get some more food and have some drinks and have a good time. And check out the new menu. So thank you very much for coming out, and I love everybody supporting. Thank you. Have a good night. Woo!
And then Hot Tony, he got me good. He's like, what's that over there? I was like, I'm not going to fall for that. He's like, no, seriously, what is that over there? And I was like, fuck. I look over, and there was nothing over there. And I look back, boom, right in the face. I was like, yeah, thanks, Hot Tony. I appreciate that.
Yeah, cake and beer doesn't mix well. Unless you bought a rum cake.
Yeah.
I feel like that would make it worse.
It would. You would get crossfaded.
Yeah.
But, you know. And then my Comedy in Kitsap shirt that I was wearing got stained from the cake.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Aww.
So all the color and dye and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that's a cool memory, though. That's one way to ruin a fucking shirt. So I'm probably going to keep that anyway. And then,
gotta frame it.
Yeah. And then July was shortly after Paul's house burnt down.
Yeah.
Boo.
Boo.
Yeah,
Everybody
bad.
survived. No one was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Even Mr. Toad or whatever its name was found.
So we ended up doing a comedy show at Dog Days on July 1st to benefit the fire.
Narn was there.
Narn was there.
Yeah.
And they raised quite a bit of money, a few $100s, I believe, at least.
I think it was $2,800.
$2,800.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow, that's
nice.
crazy.
That's really good.
And
Didn't
then
we do something at Remedy too, though?
We did a series of comedy events over a 6-week period where every thing we raised in the tip jar over 6 weeks was given to Paul.
Nice.
And then after about week 4, I was like, why did I agree to do that? I was like, I'm hurting on money, and I think he got well taken care of. But I said we were going to do 6, so we did 6, and I gave him money.
Burn down your house, Joe.
Yeah, exactly right.
But don't, because now there's evidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
good
have to
point.
edit that out.
I fucked that up for you.
But yeah, that was a really cool thing, and him and his wife, I think, were incredibly grateful that the community rallied around their family and took care of them, make sure they had somewhere to stay, and get their kids' gear from the gym replaced in a timely fashion and whatnot. So, and I gave Paul a bunch of my clothes, and he hasn't worn any of them since. So I'm kind of offended. But,
to be fair, were there flannels in there?
No,
well,
but
that's why.
I did hand select them, thinking he would like them. So
Aww.
I was a little hurt. I was like, give them back. And then we on July 9th, we did a funny night out at the Roxy Theater. That was Maisha's show. and that had Deborah Wooten on it.
Oh, I remember. Drew was on that one.
Yeah, Debbie Wooten.
I was
is
too.
So good.
Oh, she's fantastic.
So good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, girls get attitudes. My daughter, she was like 17, and she had her hand on her hip one day and started talking back to me like she was grown. I got so pissed, but I love her. That's my love buckets. And I was so sad that she was talking back to me, and I got upset. But I couldn't say anything mean to her. I don't call my daughters out their names because it's bad on their self-esteem. And I looked at her with my loving mother eyes, and I said, sweetheart, love buckets, if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm seeing some bitch-like qualities in you, girl. That's okay, because every woman has a bitch. But you never met your mommy's bitch. I keep her locked up in the cage. Yeah, you never met her. I didn't think you were old enough to meet her. But when you started talking back to me like you was grown, you woke my bitch up. Yes, you did. You woke her up. And you know what she said, sweetheart? Because I would never say it to you. She said she would have kicked your fucking ass. That's what she said. I would never say that to you. I love you. She don't give a fuck about you. She gonna scratch your face, pull your hair, whoop your ass like the woman you think you are. Now, if I open the cage and let my bitch out to talk to your bitch, don't be calling for me, your loving mother. I won't be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
I messed up one of my jokes.
Which joke?
It happens.
The dumpster one of all jokes, of
Oh.
all ones to
Oh,
mess
really?
up.
What'd you
yeah.
say?
It's I forgot like an important part.
Oh.
I forgot an important part of the
Oh.
setup. I was too nervous being with
Well, yeah.
Debbie Wooten and
Oh, yeah. No, I can imagine.
It was
And stages like
She's another OG
theater
too.
stages. I think.
I think that was my first time being on an actual theater stage.
No, the roast battles.
Yeah, the roast
Oh,
battle.
right. Yeah, but that didn't count because
It's not a showcase.
Yeah.
No, I get it. There's something about the Roxy that makes me super nervous.
Yes.
Every time.
It's Really? historical.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but it's like we're all Bremerton comics, and so everybody that buys a ticket to come see us, I feel like there's more pressure to impress them because it's that theater specifically. So that's always made me super nervous.
Interesting. I've never been really nervous for the theater.
Really?
Like a bar show, sometimes I'll get so nervous, but I don't know, for the theater ones I just never get nervous.
Yeah. Were you nervous during the casino?
Not the nervous I've ever been. I was
Okay.
more nervous actually doing laughs.
Oh, I can see that.
I can see that too.
Yeah.
That room feels very.
It is intimate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there's a bunch of comics I've never met before.
Yeah.
And so I just sat in the corner by myself like a weirdo.
Yeah.
Didn't talk to no one. And I just went up.
No, you did great though. I saw the video a couple times.
I think the thing about the stage for me that makes me more nervous is that when it's at a bar, it feels more like a hobby or like a fun thing that I'm doing.
Interesting.
Whereas if it's on
Yeah.
a stage, it feels real.
Okay. Yeah,
and
I can see that.
have
Yeah.
I don't view myself as a real comedian yet.
Well, you
so
better fucking start because
I know.
So
I know.
I think 2022 was the year that a lot of us officially went from open mic comedians to actual comedians.
I believe that too.
You know, like we started really dedicating ourselves to the craft and
totally
getting booked at venues. And granted, we're not doing it for a living quite yet, but we're
Right.
getting booked quite a bit
Yeah.
and getting the stage quite a bit.
Well, I mean, between Tommy's casino gig, Drew, kind of touring as a headliner that 1 month.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to brag about Titus for a second because
Yeah.
I'm still riding that high.
It's a huge deal.
Even though it's been over a year now. So,
And
I
that's-
think we all a lot of us really broke through.
Yeah, for sure. And I love seeing that. And then, because July was a busy fucking month. I mean,
Yeah.
Granted, we're just hitting up certain things we did the year. We did a lot of events.
Oh, yeah, no, we all did
a
shit
lot of
ton this
open
year.
mics, but these are just notable ones that
Yeah.
we did. after the funny night out at the Roxy, on July 29th, we did the Daddy Issue Comedy Showcase.
Oh, another show I shit the bed.
And it featured comedians that have jokes about daddy issues and stuff that probably do have legitimate daddy issues. That was Brock, Alison, Morgan, Levi Manis, Jess Everett. And I thought that was a killer show. Like, the crowd
really
showed
was.
up.
Yeah, no, I really did enjoy that show.
The jokes were on point.
Yeah. I just was too chicken shit to talk about some of the stuff I wrote down. That's what bit me in the ass.
Because it's too dark.
Yep.
My mother and my aunt were visiting from the East Coast, and that was the first time they'd ever seen me do comedy.
Oh, they picked
and
one hell
that
of a
was
show.
I think I still have that
was
set
probably
in my
your best
notebook.
set.
I have an arrow pointing to that page. I was like, best set ever. Yeah.
Nice.
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 Everything like came together for me. I got it
Yeah.
in that moment. I own a blazer. At least now I own a blazer. A lady who actually looked like she had her shit together left her blazer at my restaurant, and it just happened to fit me perfectly. And she came in looking for it the next day, and I was like, is it the red blazer? And then to be more specific, is it the red blazer that has the giant cum stain on it? And she gasped. She was like, no. I was like, well, now it does. It was an emotionally confusing day for me because I lost a customer, but I gained a blazer for life.
Well, you were able to, I watched you. You were so nervous, but you were able to, and Susan Jones told me, take that nervous energy and use it to your advantage on stage.
Yeah.
And I watched you do that, and your transitions were smooth. You didn't look nervous. I think having family there laughing helps a lot, you know.
Yeah.
But it was just a really good crowd, and I think that they came to see some daddy issues, and they got what they wanted. So
Yeah.
that was really cool. And then after that, we the next day, on July 30th.
No dad showed up.
Yeah.
My dad was there.
Yeah.
Poor dad.
The only dad that was still alive, probably. Or no, your dad's alive. He's just
My
a piece
dad's
of shit.
alive. Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
kidding. I don't know him enough to say that. I take that back.
I give you permission.
Nice. And then right after that, we wrapped up a busy July with the Mo Betta Green Summer Bash.
That was a fun show.
Comedy show.
I loved that one.
Yeah, it was hot as fuck.
That's when I
Oh, yeah, I was
first
sweating my
got
nuts
the
off.
camera, and I was taking those pictures.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I was wearing sandals, shorts, and sunglasses when I was doing my jokes. And I was wondering why nobody was laughing. And then I reviewed the video. I was like, well, look at me. I look like a dumb piece of shit. Trying to tell jokes that looks like they should be on a beach and not on stage telling jokes. Because there is a psychological aspect to how you appear on stage. You know, I've been in denial for so long because I like wearing shorts on stage, but I definitely felt it that time.
Yeah.
I think it was more the sunglasses and the shorts.
I still have my ice cream bong.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's my favorite piece.
Nice.
Oh, I won an octopus. I can't remember what happened to it.
You gave it to me.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't smoked out of it yet. I have it stored safely in a cabinet, ready to be smoked. But
That's awesome.
It's a really cool octopus piece.
Yeah, that was a cool piece.
And that was just a really cool thing. They had food. We were supporting the pot shop and some of the local farms that they support. And despite it being in the middle of a heat wave, it was pretty rad
It was
show.
really fun.
Yeah. Levi was there, and of course that was fun to watch him.
Oh, totally.
Stephen Hawking was pretty funny. You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, here's my impression of Stephen Hawking as a stripper. Can you help me take off my clothes? I'm dead. while I'm down here, I might as well do my Kurt Cobain impression. And my Castaway impression. Because I look like I'm best friends with a volleyball at the end of the day. Oh, God.
And then August is like January in a sense, where we kind of slow things down a little bit because it's so hot. And comedy doesn't usually thrive in August and January. So the only reputable thing in August that we did, besides try to survive the heat wave, was the Roast Battle Extraordinaire comedy show at the Roxy Theater on August 13th. And that one was the one with a bunch of comedians. And that was the one that Max Wysong won.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about how you live with yourself by charging astronomical prices to people who are making minimum wage.
If I didn't do that, I wouldn't make any money, and how would I keep Lisa around?
I mean, I'm already wondering how you keep Lisa around. Is it that money? Is that the thing? We know it's not the dick.
Hey. Allison, Allison has so many tattoos. She works part-time as the Bremerton graffiti wall.
And I remember that was pretty funny because that was another one. Well, towards the end, it just started
falling
apart. And Morgan almost won, and Drew almost won. Max Wysong won this one.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that Max Wysong was the only one that had a bunch of people show up for him.
Yeah, that's right.
His whole family.
Oh, yeah,
showed
his
up.
family and friend Tom.
His friend.
And all of us wrote jokes about him having a small penis.
Yeah,
all
in front of his mom.
Being a
His
premature
mother.
ejaculate.
Yeah, naturally.
Poor mother in the crowd.
Yeah. But the one thing I remember from that show that I thought was hilarious was Drew almost won.
Yeah.
And Max won. And when we went outside the Roxy, Max's friend Tom, who's in a wheelchair, had the belt on his lap.
Yeah.
Because Max gave it to him. So
Yeah.
I thought that is so cool to see,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I felt like that's what should have happened, right?
Yeah.
And I talked to Drew about it later. I was like, I know it was close, but you got to give it up for the moment, you know,
Totally.
how cool that is. And this is why I love Drew. She goes, hell no, I wanted to rip that belt out of his lap. I should have won that motherfucking thing.
Oh, man.
She's like, fuck his family. I was like, damn. But that's why I love Drew. She's just so cold-blooded.
Totally.
And I'm not talking shit. I love that. I truly do.
She wanted that belt.
Yeah.
She's good at roasting.
She is.
And she works hard.
But he had the whole family show up.
And
so.
he is good at roasting, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that I really, except for the improv round, you know how I feel about those. But that whole, that roast battle, I loved. I thought everyone
It was a lot of fun.
Did really well. Everyone wrote and
Yeah.
put thought into it. And yeah.
Did you have anything you wanted to add, Thomas? Just that. And then September, we started picking things back up because fall, winters, when comedy usually refires back up. So we just get our momentum right going
My
back with.
dumbass took a break that month.
Yeah. And we started off September with the September 2nd open mic comedy on the street outside of Dog Days.
That was fun.
Yeah. That was really cool.
That's because it's like it's the last bit of summer, basically, because it was still warm up until then, around here, and just everyone was outside for some kind of event out there, and we just crashed it by doing comedy out there. But everyone paid attention. It was fun.
I put a speaker up in the tree. You couldn't even tell it was there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And everybody that was, like, most of the crowd that was there, I don't even think that they were really, there was just already an event going on. So we kind of just popped it up on them.
Yeah.
And we kept their attention long enough. And that was the one where we did, outside of Dog Days, I wrote 2 big boxes that said roast battle on them. And then I had 2 mics in mic stands ready to go.
Oh, that's super cool.
That's where that
girl came up and just destroyed everybody.
Wait, I don't think I heard this story.
Yeah, so she was just sitting there watching the show.
And she wasn't a comic?
She's
No,
not a
she
comic.
wasn't a comic.
We tried. We should have just.
I don't even think she's old enough to drink, honestly.
Oh, that's even funnier.
And
That's when you're
so
a teenager. They're fucking brutal.
her name was Alex, and she was sitting there, and I was like, "Does anybody want to roast battle each other?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm looking for married couples." I'm like, "Come on, married couples," and no one wanted to
Joe's
do it.
out here trying to destroy marriages.
Yeah. And Alex jumps up there, and she roasts Billy. She roasted me. I wasn't even part of it. I was just hosting.
Yeah.
And then so she started roasting me, and she was just crushing. It was fucking hilarious.
That's amazing. I'm really pissed I missed that.
And then I was like, I'm going to get you on the next roast battle, I promise.
Yeah.
And we've never seen her since.
Oh, wow.
And I can't find her. I don't know where to find her. She was there with her mom, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe she'll reappear. But I think she was there for the comedy, though, I think. So
Okay.
I think she saw the roast battle chalk and stuck around to see what that was about.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think she's familiar with the roast battle world, which is
Yeah,
why I think
okay.
she did so good. But she did say that was her first time actually roasting people on a mic. So
Okay.
You look like you work at the bottom of a pyramid scheme.
Yes!
Like out of your parents' basement. And you're like, no, I promise this one's going to work. It's a multi-level marketing company.
yeah, and Paul crushed it. I remember that.
Doesn't surprise me, yeah.
That's when he was first starting to do some of the jokes he's been doing that are just fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And then after that, on September 17th, we, for some reason, decided to do a late night live comedy show at Remedy Speakeasy that started at 11.
Why did we do that?
Well, you know, I was inspired by a couple midnight shows that I went to, and Remedy Speakeasy I wanted to see if a late night show would resonate with the Speakeasy fans, you know.
Now, was that the double feature? Or
We
whatever?
did a show earlier that day at Ridgeline.
Ridgeline? Okay.
And
That's
then-
right.
You know
and then
what?
We went to Remedy.
I gotta say, I still love that late night show that we did, because that's where I came up with that autism joke. Because I said
Oh,
it
okay.
right there on the spot. Because Shelby must have said something about it, called me autistic or something, and then I just went up there and I riffed that entire bit, and it's
Oh, that's awesome.
I hate math. Which is weird because my friends call me autistic. That's how they roast me. They say I'm autistic. But I don't know. I've memorized every single form of autism there is, and I don't think I have it. My friend there, he said, the bartender, he said, that'd be a good way for you to get out of a one-night stand, though, after you're done. Just be like, all right, I'm done. I have autism. Time to go. Been my best joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I and Roger, because Roger was on the show, we decided we were too old for that. Because I went home and took a nap, and then I was like, yeah, I'm too old for this. I can't stay up this late.
You guys ready for your headliner tonight? Oh man, it's almost midnight. Let's get a little bit more excited. You guys ready for your headliner tonight? All right, keep it going for Roger Lazzola.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we made it. We still awake? What's going on? You awake still? I'm fucking half asleep with my non-alcoholic beer, like a fucking old man. Need some coffee. I need to wake up. I was driving over here. It was like 10:30. I was like, fuck, I could be in bed right now. This is how old I am. I'm just tired all the time. Just drinking non-alcoholic beer like a fucking recovering alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic. I just fucking got shit to do tomorrow. I gotta wake up early and cook for the game. I'm fucking shit. Cause like, damn it, why do I agree to these things? I agree to them. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be a good idea. Fucking almost midnight. It's almost tomorrow, and I'm telling jokes when I could be in bed watching Unsolved Mysteries. That's what I could be doing right now. Like an old man, just fucking watching Unsolved Mysteries and fucking laying in my underwear.
I don't remember the turnout. Was it?
There was 6 people.
Really? Oh no.
Yeah. Their turnout wasn't great.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I called it the super secret late night show.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't call it that, actually. I just called it, because someone already has a super secret midnight show.
Yeah.
I just called it the secret Remedy Speakeasy secret late night comedy show.
Oh, okay.
And Jess made a joke. He's like, oh, no surprise. People didn't show up to the secret show that no one knew about. But it was a test because I wanted to be like word of mouth, speakeasy type thing, you know? Not everybody knows about it. Only people in the know.
I think that if
we ran it like an actual show and promoted it,
Yeah.
I think we'd get
There
a good
would've been
turnout.
turnout,
Yeah.
We'll probably do one a year, maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
But we would have to, it couldn't be a secret. We'd have to promote.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we could still call it a secret, and
And
there
then
could be
promote it.
something secret about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like give a code word at the door and you get something.
Well, the secret was actually that we didn't know who the comedians were going to be.
Oh.
So, but it was still fun.
Okay.
Was that due to lack of planning and we called it a secret?
No, I booked
Okay.
them.
Okay.
They were booked.
Okay.
I just wanted people to be excited about not knowing who the comedians were going to be.
Gotcha.
And then we did another dope show at the Roxy Theater on September 24th. That was a lot of fun. I think that might have been the one
Where I got way too high?
Yeah, where I double vaped you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so bad. I was sitting there at Remedy after, like the music was playing, and I'm just sitting there in my chair, just like bobbing my head to the fucking music. But no, it just never made sense to me until I was listening to a rap song, and I realized if you replace the N-word with the word midget, it still flows. Nope. My favorite example of this is Chris Brown put out a song called Look at Me Now. And in the song, Lil Wayne has a verse. And if you replace the N-word with the word midget, the first line of that verse reads, "Man, fuck these bitch-ass midgets." Pretty much sums up my opinion of them. That's my time. You guys are great.
And it was funny because I gave him the mic. I gave him the double vapes, and I was like, "Do you want to hit them both at the same time?" He's like, "Sure." Big ass cloud. And I was like, "Holy shit, dude!" And then I was like, "Thanks for not doing it next to me." And then I was like, 5 minutes later, I was like, "Hey, Brock, can I have my vape pen back?" He's like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh, yeah, I forgot I had it.
So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then October, we did another dope show at the Roxy Theater on October 22nd.
I took it to a weird note. You guys ready for another comedian? I got you guys so many great comedians. This next one is one of my favorites on the show. You guys are going to love him. Please make some noise for the hilarious Timmy Booth.
Keep it going for Tyler and Levi. Thanks for coming out to the Dudes Who Needed a Haircut 3 years ago tour. Any barbers here could make a killing back there. Just let us know. Our hair is as long as our faces. I don't know. Levi's sad. Levi is younger than me, but somehow looks like me in 10 years. I don't know how he does it.
Let's just say we've done a lot of dope shows this
Yeah. We sure
2022, so that was really cool experience. And then we started doing comedy at Hood Canal Brewery in Kingston.
That's
And
right.
we did a show on October 27th there. I think that was the one with Simon Kaufman.
Yeah,
And it was so
that's right.
funny because he was like, "Oh, Kingston, huh?" He's like, "Oh man, I thought I was doing a comedy in Kingston, Jamaica." I was like, "Oh man, this is nothing like Jamaica."
Yeah, that's right.
And that was pretty funny. But
That was a fun show.
The thing I love about Hood Canal Brewery is not only is it female owned, but it's also they're just one of those spots, kind of like Belfair and Casey's, where they just really love that we're bringing comedy to them.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're not too far from out of town, but they don't really want to come in town to go see comedy.
Right.
They'd rather stay home, do their
Yeah.
thing at their local,
Yeah.
pub. And the fact that we're bringing them comedy, we're the ones driving out there to go see them. They truly appreciate
Yeah.
us doing that.
Yeah, it's always been really great
Yeah.
energy in that spot.
Well, and they got a good set of regulars that go there too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when they hear that comedy's going to be there, they get pretty excited
They show
and
up.
tend to bring more people.
Yeah, and they
So-
laugh and they have a good time.
Yeah.
Yep.
You were just on the last one we did.
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
and that
With
was a lot of
Monica.
fun. Yeah,
That was a great one.
And I got to guest set.
Guest set, and you crushed it too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And then November, we started off November. On November 9th, we did Open Mic Comedy Night at Remedy Speakeasy with Thomas Friday and the birthday roast of Phil K. So we were actually featuring Thomas so he can get some extra practice in for his long set that he was planning to do at Muckleshoot Casino.
Yeah.
28 minutes. Congratulations, Thomas.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is a lot of time.
That is a lot of time to do one-liners. I think your longest story was 3 lines.
Sounds about right.
And then a punchline.
No, I thought you did great though.
Yeah, and then we roasted Phil K.
That was fun.
That was pretty fun.
Allison had the best roast of the night.
Oh,
What was
thank
it?
you. I'm getting better.
Do you remember
I
what the
will say
roast
that.
was?
Yeah. What was it?
Something about his
Something
mom.
about his mom.
And Karen.
His mom's name is Karen.
Mhm.
She was the original Karen because when she gave birth to him, she immediately asked to speak to a manager to
Oh,
return
that's
him. Something
fucking
like
funny.
that. Something like that. His mom's name is Karen. When he was born, she immediately asked to speak with a manager about returning him.
You win.
I'd like to return this baby, please. Yeah, and then the next day, November 10th, we did live comedy night at Ocean 5 with Brock Terrano.
That was a fun show.
Yeah.
That was a really
so-
fun show. Which, I'm sorry, do you know how drunk you have to be to think I'm the bouncer? I didn't skip a beat. I took a look at it. All good, sir. Have a good night.
Hey, Brock.
What up?
This looks weird. It's like taller than you.
Oh, Jesus. Thank you.
Oh my
I need new friends.
Yeah, that was featuring all local comedians
Yeah.
in Gig Harbor at a establishment that is family friendly and usually clean comedy.
But they're okay with PG-13, so.
They were, and we came with a little bit of R. We sprinkled in some R every now and then.
Well, the host used all our fucks during his first.
That's true. We were like, we only get
set.
one fuck. Phil K.
Oh, okay.
And he's just like, fuck.
Fuck this, fuck that, fuck you.
First
fuck
global,
everybody.
first line, he's just like, yeah, fuck. And then
And I was like, whoop, there goes mine.
And then we're just in the green room like, okay.
They gave us free drinks, though, and I had 2 tall Rainiers right before going up. Not my brightest idea.
No, were you
Because I was
wasted?
practicing still for the Muckleshoot show, and I started forgetting my set. And
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, we ordered a bunch of food and it never came.
Yeah.
And I got so
Yeah, that's
excited
right.
because I ordered a charcuterie board and I was so stoked for it to come.
And it never did.
And we were going to tip him so fat too because it
Yeah.
was free food, and it
Well,
never
my
showed
thing
up.
was that I thought was weird, and this might just because I'm an alcoholic, but I asked for a double jack like I usually get, and they couldn't order a double jack. They had to give me 2 separate singles. And I was like, well, just put them into one cup. And they refused to do it. I was like, fuck, all right.
Weird.
It was the weirdest.
I think it was just a policy that they don't give out doubles as comps.
Well, I even told them I would pay for it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's right. So maybe it's an LCB thing, or maybe it's because it's a family establishment. I don't know.
I don't know.
They just probably, it could be
Well, I
an
could have ordered a
in-house
Long
policy.
Island, which is stronger.
Yeah,
It's probably an in-house
4 shots.
policy.
Yeah.
But they were really sorry about the food thing. It was
Yeah.
a mistake. They just
Yeah.
they took the order and then forgot to hit submit.
Yeah.
But next time I'm getting that charcuterie board, bro. So, thinking about
We're
it.
about
ever
to add a
since.
charcuterie board to Remedy.
Oh
you really?
yes,
Yeah.
fuck
Perfect.
yes.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun because that was all Bremerton comics. And if it's
Yeah.
something I've really enjoyed about 2022 is that I feel like with a Bremerton comic lineup, we can fill an hour and a half. And easy. And I absolutely love that about us, and that we've been working to get to that point, and we can start booking ourselves as a trio or a group of comedians that can kill it. And that's really exciting that we carried that show. And then after that, we did a live comedy show at Remedy Speakeasy with Susan Jones on November 23rd, right before Thanksgiving.
That show was fantastic.
Yeah, that was our first show there, and she fucking is so good. She crushed so hard.
Yeah.
I crushed. That was like after Muggle Shoot, and I just went on this high.
Yeah,
of like.
Yeah. He walked in the room.
Did crush
he
that
just
night.
fucking.
That's fucking
is
great.
like
I love hearing
floating, and then Susan saw him, and then said, "Hey, I'll put in a good word for you at Laughs."
Yep.
And she did.
That's awesome.
And then he got an audition, and crushed it. So, it just goes to show that coming out, doing shows, networking, throwing yourself out there at the right time, will get you booked, and it will get you recognized.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and the 2022 was the year of Thomas Friday, so
Hell
totally.
and you saw it, and he did all the right things to make it his year. So, and Susan also did her millennial mill thing.
Son of a bitch.
He's gonna take the title again next year.
Yeah.
Susan did her millennial and me bit with Hannah.
I love that bit.
Oh God, it never gets not funny.
Yeah, it's so good.
Then you gotta sit with that fucking Gen Z kid through the whole meal. We got any young kids in here? What about Yellow Hat Blondie? Get up here, I want to play a little game with you. Cause we match. So if you want to know the difference, mine's from the 80s. Okay, get this. What's your name? Hannah, with an I, with a heart over it. Oh, it's gonna be fun, Hannah. Get closer, Hannah. Fat's not contagious. Get closer, Hannah. Okay, listen. Everyone that's 40 and over is on my team. Make some noise if you're 40 and over. Shit, Hannah, you're fucked.
And then when she does the phone number bit, where that song, like 8675309.
Oh yeah.
Where like when she was growing up, if men asked her for a phone number and she didn't want to give it to them, she'd give them that. And that joke is so good because she would make the whole crowd recite the number at the same time. And it's like, I told her, I was like, that is such a good joke because you're like activating something that's burning everybody's memory. You know, and in that moment, and it's just such a cool thing.
You're doing good. Do you know what Jenny's phone number is? All right, what's Jenny's number? 8675309. You got it. For a good time, call it.
Be able to pull that out. And then after that, we did another dope show at the Roxy Theater on November 26th. That was a really good one. I think Roger was on that one.
Okay.
And Roger Lazzola, man, on the dope show, I tell you what, he is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I had to talk him into going on to this one. He was like, "I've retired from the weed, man." He's like, "It's too powerful," and I was like, "Okay, let's get you on the show. If you're gonna quit doing the weed, one last show, yeah." And he's like, "Okay, I'll just stay the night in Bremerton." And I was like, "Cool, we'll do it." And everybody loved it. He's like one of the funniest comedians high. Because he was like 10 feet away from the edge of the stage.
Yeah.
And he was afraid he was going to fall over
Oh, that's
the
hilarious.
stage.
Tell me if I'm getting close to the edge. So make sure, dude. Fucking. It's not a good. I think I'm too close. Yeah, dude. That's tragedy right there. No way.
And the crowd was just cracking up laughing at him, thinking he's going to fall off the stage when he wasn't even close to it. And then December, the last month of 2022, first open mic comedy of December 12th was Krampus night.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was a fun one.
That was a good show.
We had a really good turnout because a lot of people were traveling downtown for Krampus.
It was raining.
It was raining.
It's supposed to snow.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you do? Yeah, if you were hoping to break the streak, the last 3 autistic comedians, I'm gonna apologize. Just gonna apologize right now.
So it's freezing outside.
Yeah.
And I did a drug that rhymes with Belpesty.
Belpesty.
Love of son and daughter.
Lucy in the Sky of Diamonds. And I was experimenting with how I was like Krampus night.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Bunch of Krampuses walking around.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the Krampuses that creeped me out. It was the kids your size that were dressed up as elves that were creeping me out. Yeah, that was an experiment, and it wasn't too bad. I felt like my set under the influence wasn't horrible.
There was one set that you did recently, I think it was in December, where you were under the influence of something, and it was the best set I've ever seen you do. And it was the one where you got really deep about buttholes.
That was when I was on mushrooms, like a lot of more mushrooms than I usually do.
Okay, well, it worked.
Yeah. Buttholes are weird. Am I right? I just discovered recently that everybody has their own unique butthole. Like it could be technically a print, like a fingerprint. Like if you get one of those butthole molds done in chocolate and you give it as a gift, like that's a unique butthole. Like you could say that's my butthole, you know. And it's like true. Like let me just check real quick. Yo, it matches. It's a perfect fucking match. You're right. But we need a butthole because we have a mouth. It's weird, right? That's weird. I don't know what it is about buttholes that really catch my attention when I'm high on mushrooms, but
You get very thoughtful about them on mushrooms.
well, I just think that when I do psychedelics, I get tripped out on being human real easy.
Right.
You know, and then when I get tripped out about being human, I'm like, I get tripped out about the little things about being human, like buttholes, and how weird they are. But we need them because we have mouths, which is like a butthole, but it's different. Like the mouth is the intake and the butthole is the outtake.
Right.
But then I get tripped out by belly buttons too, you know. And it's like
they look like buttholes.
That's but
but
they serve much less of a purpose.
Yeah, but they were crucial. They were a crucial mouth hole plus, but I don't know. But also too, like,
are you on mushrooms right now?
No, I wish. And the butthole thing, I love talking about it because it's helped me ground myself a little bit and also ground really hot people. Because when I think, because everyone has a butthole, you can't deny it, right? So I'll think of like Jennifer Aniston or Selma Hayek or Brad Pitt, and I'm just imagining them taking a shit every day. And it really helps me feel like I'm on the same level as these super. Yeah, exactly. I'm not so different.
Beautiful perspective.
Like, don't act like you don't shit every day, Selma Hayek. Just butthole opens up. Just fucking. Granted, they probably smell like fucking rose petals and shit. But, you know, everybody poops, and because everybody eats, and I just get real tripped out about being human when I'm on drugs. So. Sometimes it makes for good comedy.
That was beautiful.
That was very poetic, wasn't it?
That was.
And then on December 8th, we started doing comedy at the Golden Mum, and Nar and Van was there for that.
You could do a butthole 10-minute set and make it real tight. And then okay. Nar and Van. Sorry.
Maybe I can loosen up my jokes enough to make them good and welcoming. Like, man, this guy's buttholes jokes really stink.
All right.
Golden Mum. Yeah, Monica, my friend, she owns it, and she's a big fan of Nar and Van, so we were able to get him to come out, and they had some issues with remodeling and whatnot, so they were needing some extra business, and that was a lot of fun. We had a decent crowd. And, Thomas was there, Drew was there, Max was there.
Yeah.
And they had a nice little back
Brock
area where
was
we
there.
could do the comedy. Brock was And we'll be doing more shows there in the future for sure. So, and then after that, on December 30th, we did the live comedy show at Dog Days Brewery with Monica Nevy.
Yep.
And that was a really cool show. Dog Days has been very supportive of a lot of what we do, comedy-wise. We do all the stuff there on Friday. And I couldn't... and the
little nails aren't going to do anything to it.
The crazy thing is that we had that ice storm.
Yeah.
And we had to push back 2 of our shows. The Thursday show at Canal and the Friday show at Dog Days to the next week.
Yeah.
And we were able to keep all the comedians on those shows
Didn't we push
intact.
3 shows back?
Well, the Puyallup one.
Oh, yeah, that was okay.
Yeah, that wasn't our production, but the ice storm kept us from leaving town. But I thought that was cool because I've never had to reschedule a show and was able to hang on to all the comedians.
Yeah.
But Monica happened to be available. Everybody happened to be available. And it made it so we can still do our 140th show of the year because that was kind of in jeopardy with the ice storm a little bit. But that was a lot of fun. And then the next day is when we wrapped up the 140th show and the year 2022 with a live comedy show at Remedy Speakeasy, which we sold out.
Yeah. So good.
We had over 40 people there seated. This is the first time I've had to turn people away for comedy, and I felt really
sorry,
bad.
Mom. Sorry, Anna.
Yeah.
Oh.
But we learned a lot. From that show.
We did.
And for the most part, it ran pretty smoothly, though.
Yeah.
It was a really good turnout.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody there was having a good time. We had a camcorder on the stage projecting to the back TV, so everybody in the back of the bar could still see the stage, which we absolutely love that we have that set up now. All the comedians crushed, and I couldn't think of a better way to wrap up 140 comedy events than at Remedy Speakeasy with the New Year's Eve comedy show.
With all I love. At first, we were considering doing a headline, like a bigger headliner, but I think, I don't know, it was very like emotionally beautiful for me to be with all my friends, like to do
absolutely.
it with all of the
I totally
people
get that.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
Well, Thomas headlined the show, so Thomas. Allison's like, I wish we could have got a real headliner.
No, like for like, you know what I mean. Stop it.
But it was the year of Thomas Friday, so we were celebrating.
It was fitting.
You know, and I was going to go up there on drugs and talk about crazy stuff that had nothing to do with comedy. But then I saw everybody there, all dressed nice, bringing in the new year proper.
Yeah.
So I was like, just do what you're paying yourself to do.
Yeah.
You know, tell jokes. Yeah. So I did, and I'm glad I did, because it would have got really weird, I think.
Probably.
If I would have talked about what I planned on talking about.
Curious what you're planning on talking about.
Buttholes.
Buttholes, okay.
I noticed
That's
the
our
crowd
show.
was a little drunk at that point when I went up.
The crowd was?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
That does happen.
Yeah, it usually ends up working out for the comedian, though.
Yeah.
The more drunk you are, usually, if you can still keep them engaged, they'll laugh.
Yeah, how did you feel? Did it enhance or
Well,
not?
maybe not up front people.
Okay.
But
Well, there was that one dude that was just sitting there like this the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But I guess the back I did well. I couldn't.
Okay.
Hear.
But yeah, all in all, I think that 2022 was definitely our first full year back from COVID, and I felt like we came full circle with the whole seeing Dave Chappelle at Climate Pledge, getting a fire under us, and then having our own New Year's Eve show, and it meaning something to us on the way that it did. And granted, I didn't go up after the show with my family and celebrate, but it felt good to have our own New Year's Eve comedy show.
Yeah.
And it was on a Saturday night, so I mean, like, people were eager and ready to come out.
I know the community was, the people that came to the show, they were very grateful that we provided an event that was like not $50
Yeah.
to get in because
Exactly.
everything else in town.
At least $30 for entry.
Yeah. So we had a lot of people thank us for giving.
So you can at least charge 20 this year.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. That was my exact takeaway. And right when you said it, I thought it.
Yeah.
Because Steve was like, Steve Scott, who's a big supporter of comedy,
Yeah.
Kitsap, he's been coming out. He's like, "Oh man, this is so great! You guys only charge $10 a ticket to get into this.
Everything else is
It
like
was such a
$50.
great event. Everyone else is charging $50 to get in." And Brock and I look at each other, and Brock's like, "Well, we're doing 25 next year, I guess." I was like, "I guess
For
so."
the VIP tickets for sure. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah, but we just did 10 across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could tell people were grateful, so that made me feel really good.
Yeah.
And it made selling out the show super easy. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much a solid recap of 2022. What were some things that you took away from this year, Alison?
Personally, I was very, very busy with running the restaurant.
Yeah.
So my personal comedy career didn't grow as much as I wanted it to, but what I loved was being able to watch everyone else's grow, and seeing all of you guys get booked more and get be all over the place, and I'm not like jealous about it. I was like I feel very proud to be able to have seen that from a distance, and then it gave me a lot of motivation too for 2023 to get myself out there. And I can, now that we're a year and a half in, I think I have some like ability to kind of let go a little bit of that and start working on my own comedy a little more. So
yeah.
And I am very impressed with how you were able to still do comedy and run a business.
Oh, totally.
And I just want to say how grateful I am, and I know other comics are, that you started this business and you took a chance on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You had the support system you needed to make it happen. And because of that, now we have what we consider a home for us comedians, where we can feel safe to talk and perform and just hang out and and enjoy a place where comedians can gather, because we never really had anything that had this feel to it for the comedians.
Yeah, totally.
So just having that alone, it was pivotal in 2022.
Yeah, like,
Nice.
oh, you guys want to do a writing session?
Yeah.
Where should we meet up?
Remedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time.
Meeting.
What do you want to do after the comedy show? Go to Remedy.
Yeah.
Get some fucking awesome food and some good drinks.
Yeah, which has done wonders for sales. So thank you guys.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, the more we can support to keep you alive, the better off we're going to be as comedians. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
How about you, Brock? What were you able to take away from 2022 that you weren't able to do in other years?
There was a few things. Like, I feel like I was a lot more proactive on trying to get myself booked. Like, normally I would just rely on either you or Josh or any producer really to reach out to me.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I got a spot for you. But I was a lot more proactive, and I feel like it paid off a lot more too. Because, like, I got to go on the road as a headliner for the first time, which was a great feeling. And another thing that I know I realized I need to put more work into, and you helped me realize this during one of the roasts, but I need to focus on writing a lot more. Because, like, your roast was talking about how, like, broadcast, yes, there was a broadcast, great material. If you want to see it, he'll do it next week at Remedy. And the month after that, and the year after that.
That was a good roast.
It was a great fucking roast. He called my ass out, and I was thankful for it. I needed that. So I think, those two are the main things.
Yeah, well, I think one of the hardest things about being a comedian is promoting and booking.
Yes.
Promoting yourself.
Yeah.
And getting yourself out there to get booked on people's shows.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the humbling things in comedy is when you reach out, it takes a lot to reach out.
Yeah.
And then when you reach out and then they never book you.
Yeah.
That's humbling. You know?
100%.
And it doesn't always mean that they don't think that you're funny. There's a lot of factors that go into it.
Yeah.
But that's part of why people, I think, are afraid to always sometimes reach out and promote themselves, is because they don't want to get the rejection. Same with why people don't apply at festivals.
Yeah.
For comedy festivals, they just don't want to get rejected. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It sucks getting rejected. There's no
Totally.
doubt about it. It doesn't matter what field you're working in, but especially comedy, because it's you that you're promoting. It's
Yep.
you that you're
Yeah, so
advertising.
it's a lot more personal.
Very
It
personal.
feels
yeah.
like that, yeah.
And you know, it shouldn't be, because it should be about business, but it is personal. It's a
Yeah.
very personal game. So, yeah, shout out to you, Brock, for putting yourself out there a little
Yeah,
bit
thank
more
you.
and getting booked. You did have a really good year.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap it up with the year of Thomas Friday himself. What were you able to take away from 2022, Thomas, mostly that other years may not have provided?
Oh, well, this was like the first time I started actually like trying. Like,
I thought I gave
you
up
booked
on
me
that.
on my first show.
At
I had been-
Kimball's.
At Kimball's
That's
Coffee
right,
House.
yeah.
That was in 2021.
Yeah.
Or was it? Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
I think, was it 2021?
Yeah, because 2020 we didn't do
Oh,
shit.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It was right after the shutdown.
And I didn't know you could get booked on shows before. So, and
I
then
think that's a dig at me, but you were my open mic superstar.
I was just not a dig at you. I just
know.
never
I'm just
knew
joking.
because this was it was all brand new to me. So this year, I knew you could get booked on shows, and that's all I wanted. And I'm so grateful for the scene that we have here because all the things that I've done this year wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have somewhere to go to. Especially like you have all the connections of you had Susan Jones come on and or all the Roxy shows and all that.
And just the open mics in general, working on new material.
Yeah.
Really fine-tuning the jokes.
If I don't have anywhere to do it,
yeah,
then none of this happens.
It's super convenient that a lot of it's right here in our backyard. So, yeah, I remember when you said that at the show, you're like, "Oh, this is my first time getting booked on a show." I was like, "What?" I thought about it. I was like, "I didn't book Thomas on any of my stuff." I was like, I didn't. Fuck, I'm a piece of shit. But it wasn't that I didn't book him as much as it was that he was just at all the open mics. So I just felt like he was there all the time, but I never fucking paid him.
I would go to I was going to all of my open mics and all the shows, but I was so into it, and I still try and make it to every single show.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not on it, just because I love watching everyone do
That's how you learn.
their shit.
Yeah.
Like I love watching if someone's been working on a joke and then they finally say a different word to get it to that
Yeah.
right spot. It's my favorite thing in the world. And but yeah.
Yeah, one of the many ways you learn comedy is by watching other people.
Yeah.
Especially people that have been doing it longer than you. Yeah. That's why whenever there is a headliner from out of town that comes through, it's so crucial to, if you can, come out and watch.
Yeah.
Because you will learn a lot, especially if they're here for multiple days.
Everyone has their own different way to if it's a small crowd, watching someone still make the best out of it is amazing. But yeah, I guess this year I want to try and do more to get booked outside.
Yeah, to start learning the craft of putting yourself out there, getting your headshots, portfolio, link sent that you can easily send for people to review.
Like I thought about doing the full Facebook group post that everyone's in, but that just doesn't feel like me.
Yeah.
I like to go off word of mouth. And
well, just it's important to keep a contact list of all the bookers and producers in the state that you can refer to and send your tape off to.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us comedians are getting to the point where we can comfortably send a tape off and it'll probably work. It'll get us booked, I think.
Oh, totally. And I feel like we all got really good footage this past year, too.
Yeah, I recorded almost everything this year. So
yeah, thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah.
And I just like our community. We do everything for each other. Like, I don't mind taking pictures at all the events just because it helps.
Yeah.
And
I also... sorry, I interrupted.
It's good. Fun. That's all.
Fun?
Yeah.
Okay. I just was agreeing. I feel very lucky that this is the the scene that I started doing, that I decided to do comedy, to try to get up on stage and do comedy. Like, we're so tight. I feel so safe with all of you. Like, you guys will give me constructive feedback and positive feedback, and I just, it's a very safe community, and I hear a lot from other women, particularly in other scenes in this state, that it's not like that. So it's nice, and I attribute a lot of that to you, Joe. I've told you that before.
Totally. Yeah. Well, I attribute a lot of that to my horrible experiences out of Kitsap that I've had, because I'm just like, really? And then, so I think it's imperative that you are supportive of one another, especially in a scene like ours, where we're a little bit closer, whereas the bigger cities, they kind of have a wider variety of people that come out. So it's not the same dynamic as we have here in Kitsap. And I think it's more about the individual game than it is about supporting one another. There is support outside of Kitsap with comedians with each other. But
still very cliquey. Though.
Yeah, very cliquey. But it could be said about us as well. But I think that really just is experience versus non-experience. New versus been doing it a while.
Yeah.
I don't think it's cliquey. I think people just gravitate towards the more experienced.
Yeah.
It's definitely welcoming in our scene. We encourage all levels of experience. We've never bumped anybody. If a comedian signed up, they went up. Which is a proud thing to be able to say. And just been very supportive in building each other up. And you see where that support has gone and what it has been able to do for us. So I think we're leading the way on what it means to try to take an individual craft like comedy and make it more about the whole. Because we're all in the same boat together.
Right.
And so we don't want to see anyone struggle. Anything else you guys want to add about 2022?
Nah.
What was your biggest takeaway, Joe?
Yeah, what was yours?
Oh, just, when I quit my job at the shop in 2021, I had to make up for the lack of income by doing as many shows as I could. And when 2022 came around, it was my first full year back from COVID.
Yeah.
And after seeing Dave Chappelle and just having reignited a fire under me, after quitting my job, that really fired me up, put a chip on my shoulder, because I felt like I wasn't good enough there. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go do my own thing.
Yeah.
And I remember right after I quit my job, I was... that's right when the economy started to reopen. So my comedy was still really rusty. I had only hit up a couple mics before I quit my job. And I got booked on a dope show in Spokane. And on my way out there, I was still rusty. I had a lot of doubt, but I just quit my job.
Yeah.
So for me, the personal importance to do well at this show was huge.
Yeah.
And so when I went out there, I remember thinking to myself, I have to do good.
Yeah.
At this moment in time, I have to do good, because if I quit my job and I come out to Spokane in front of one of the easiest places to do comedy, because the crowds there are so fire, and I shit the bed, I don't think I can recover from that.
Yeah.
Because emotionally, I was not in a spot that I could have a bad set.
Yeah.
I had to have a good set. And so after I had my sets and I was pleased with how they went, while all the other comics were out talking with the crowd afterwards, I was in the green room crying, because I was just overwhelmed with emotion, because I was like faced with such like what meant everything to me, because it was validating, to be able to quit my job and be like, that's right. That was the first time where I felt like this is where I belong. Like, I know for sure now that this is where I belong. And it was just such a invigorating feeling to be able to regain that confidence in myself after coming out of COVID. So after that, I was like looking forward to 2022, because I was like, this year's going to rock, And then once we started the year, I already had that mentality of go, 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 go. And it wasn't until about September that I was like, holy shit, we're doing a lot of comedy events.
Yeah.
And then I looked at it and I was like, holy, this could be a record for an individual independent producer, you know? Because if you think about it, like, try to think of I mean, a lot of it has to do with Kitsap. We're very lucky to have the demographic that we do, where we can do all these shows. Most cities that are bigger don't have that kind of demographic. But it'd be hard pressed to think of another. That's a good bro. Another independent comedy producer that's done more than 140 comedy events. You know, so for me, I hope it's the most, but it's probably not. But I hope it is. But I just took away that I can go fucking beast mode in comedy.
Totally.
And it paid off big time, and not just for me, but for everybody involved.
Yeah, it did.
And so it was very rewarding to be able to see us all grow as comics. Like when we went down to Bend, Oregon, it was me, you, and Drew.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that because we hit the road together. We did the living room show at my buddy's house.
That's right.
Which was a great warm-up. And there was only like 10, 12 people there.
Yeah.
There was kids running around.
No mic.
No mic at all. We just stood on the living room floor and told our jokes. But they were so stoked that we were there. And so they were laughing and having a good time. And it felt like, I was nervous at first. I think we all were because it was so non-traditional.
Yeah.
But once we got into the groove right out the gate, we all crushed.
Yeah.
And it just felt so good to crush a living room show with no mic.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So then when we went to the dope show the next day, we were just on cloud nine.
Yeah.
The drive was beautiful. The scenery was beautiful. And when we got to the venue for the dope show, we were just chomping at the bit, you know, as a group, and we were just so wound up.
None of us could sit still.
None of us could sit still. We
Pacing
were
the
just
venue,
like pacing
and, like,
around in circles, you know, and then one of us would go up and we'd crush, and then we'd get off and we'd hug each other and be like, "Fuck yeah!" You know? And it was just such a cool camaraderie that we had on that show because we were just so eager to get up there and do good. And when we all did good, it felt so good.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we were just on cloud nine.
Totally.
Went to Winco and Bend, Oregon. It was the most beautiful Winco I've ever fucking seen. I could not believe it. I was checking out and I was looking at this lady. I was super high from the show. And I was like, this is the best Winco I've ever seen. She's like, oh, well, thank you. We take a lot of pride in our Winco. I was like, you should. It is rad. I mean, it put Bremerton Winco to shame.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And she was tripping out on me tripping out. But, yeah, man, it was. And then I ate shit on my longboard right before the show.
Oh, that's right.
So that was really cool.
In front of that old couple.
Yeah, because there was apparently in Oregon, their pine cones are like that fucking big. So I was going down this hill and there was 2 pine cones that were right in my way, and I tried to go around and just fucking ate shit. And there was this old couple sitting in a jacuzzi, and I just fucking rolled, and shit was flying everywhere, and they're just looking at me. And I'm like, oh, I'm okay. And I'm like wobbling, like limping away, you know. And then I fucking get back to my room, and I'm like, oh fuck, that hurt. Too old for that shit. And but I know I didn't break anything, so I was super proud about that.
Yeah.
But then I was
Thank
like, fuck,
God.
where's my phone? I had to go back like 10 minutes later and go pick up my phone.
Yeah, I remember that.
Where I crashed, and the old couple were like, what the fuck?
Well, I turned the corner like right after your crash, and you're just like, bro, I just ate shit. I was like, fuck, I missed it. But
yeah, I know, me too. I was like, I didn't get it on video. Fuck. But it was one of those eat shits where I was going so fast and I couldn't adjust that when I got off the board, it was either keep going and try to navigate grass and other things, or get off. And I got off, and so I went 1, 2, 3, eat shit. So I tried to like run it out, you know, but I was going way too fast. And yeah, it was not pretty, and then I had to go up on stage like an hour later.
You're all bloody.
Yeah. But, you know, just basically 2022, being able to see everybody's growth and then us carry a few shows and get booked together as a group.
Yeah.
Just a really cool year and fun year. We pretty much did a lot of things that I think we've all been hoping and dreaming that we can do in comedy, you know?
Yeah.
hit the road and have a good time.
Yeah.
I almost got tased by a park ranger in Spokane.
I don't think I heard that story.
Oh boy.
Well, we don't have a lot of time to go into it,
Yeah.
but let's just say I camped illegally next to the river in a non-campsite, and I didn't see the drop box to drop the money off, so yeah, I almost got tased. But
That was an awesome time.
Yeah, that was a blast.
That was a killer weekend.
Yeah.
And even getting pulled over by that
getting
bitch.
Getting tased by the
God damn! I
park
wish we would have
ranger.
gotten tased.
I
That would have
just
been a
say,
cherry
I
on
just say
top.
that I got tased because it makes the story
I'm so sorry.
so much better.
I just ruined that for you.
No, it's okay. I don't
Now
mind.
everyone knows.
Because it's a lie. I just like saying that I got tased
Just edit
by
it.
a park ranger because that
Say-
sounds so funny to me. Because I felt like she had.
I remember when you did. Just edit it out.
Yeah, you just edit it out. Yeah, you shook like a baby and shit yourself.
You shit yourself. You fell in the river.
Yeah, but no, it was. She had her hand on the taser the whole time, so I felt like I almost wanted to get tased. Like I was feeling like getting tased for the first time. But she had every right to be upset. We totally shit all over their campsites and did not do our due diligence. I did not do my due diligence.
Like Kitsap Russell Brand.
Yeah, no shit. I
She's
was like, we're just struggling comedians. We're having a hard time finding somewhere to stay tonight. She's like, I don't care what you are. You play by my rules.
Well, I couldn't see them.
Yeah,
It was dark.
exactly.
I couldn't see the sign.
Well, if you would have done your due diligence.
God, that was the fucking word of the day, wasn't it?
Dude, it was.
Due diligence. I was
Dude, when
brushing
she
my
whipped
teeth in
that
that
out.
parking lot.
Oh, man.
Shit.
Yeah.
What? When she whipped her dick out?
No, when she whipped out the due diligence. That's what I was like.
She calls her dick due diligence.
I was like, this is what it's about. Okay. All right. I'm just here for you to lay into, get it all out.
Oh, fuck.
Because the first thing I said when she walked up was, how much do I owe you?
Yeah.
And then she was like, you're lucky I'm not going to charge you $140.
Oh, come on, bitch.
I'm just going to charge you the $30. I was like, great, I'll pay you the $30. And then she laid
Can
into
I
me.
Venmo you?
Yeah, exactly. And then I was like, we have cash. And she's like, we don't do cash.
We just did the dope show.
And then, so then we're trying to combine our debit cards. And then she's like, okay, fine, I'll take the cash. I was like, you lied.
You know, that was just for her.
Yeah. So I was like, you are not an honest person, Bart.
God, I did not like her. I was so upset that
Dude.
morning. And that my ring was still at our friend's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that guy in traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. You know, so that's pretty much how I see the year. It was just super proud of everybody and what we were able to accomplish. And
Yeah. And you should be very proud of yourself, too.
Oh,
thank you.
100%.
Thank you. I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, you should.
And I just hope that 2023 can provide the same kind of thrilling experience.
Yeah.
you
Better.
know. Yeah. 150.
There we
Yeah.
go.
That's the goal.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
150. I don't think it's sustainable for me to do it again the way I did it, so I'm going to try to rely on a lot of local comics hiring and
Yeah.
getting you guys to host and whatnot. So, and everyone's up for helping, so I love that. So. But yeah, before we wrap it up, I just want to give a shout out to Ashley's Pub for letting us shoot this podcast here. Another female-owned business in Bremerton that we like to support. And they have all kinds of games and pinball machines and vintage games and board games and everything like that. So if you want to see Ashley's Pub at the 21 and over drinking hole for gamers, come on down, check it out. Show them some love like they've shown us some love. So, yeah. Thank you. I
Cool.
appreciate you guys joining me for the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, love you guys, and thanks for watching. Hope you had a good time.
Peace.
That was fun. Oh, Lester, was it exhausting? That's so exhausting. Oh.
People always ask me, like, how come I don't date native ladies? Just because I don't want to accidentally date a family member. And I know what you're thinking. Earlier you said you were 25% white. What happens if you date a family member on that side? Well, I'm not worried about it because it's way more acceptable on that side. Now that I'm single, I want to meet all the girls that ever friend zoned me by saying, you're like a brother to me. because I've seen porn nowadays, and I think the odds are in my favor. I'm used to sell hotcakes, and when they were selling good, I would say, "These are selling." That's a good joke. All right, thank you. I've been Thomas Friday.
All right. Thank you, Thomas Friday.